Don't be a tyrant. Guys, listen, it's Dami here from Clientele Boosters, and I'm going to talk about whether character or skill set is more important. Now, listen, why should you listen to me? I've been running a marketing company for over 5 years. It's called Clientele Boosters. I've worked with politicians, celebrities, Forbes members, all the way to production companies. I've got my own production company on the side. I've done nightclubs, events. I've done a lot: hospitality, HVAC, NDIS, e-commerce. And I've been able to hire quite a number of people. You see, across all of my businesses, or just in my agency rather, I manage about 20 to 30 people. Across all of my business, I'm looking at managing anywhere between 50 to 100 people, blended between employees, contractors, all around Melbourne, Sydney, Gold Coast, Eastern Europe, Dubai, and the Philippines. So I learned a thing or two about hiring, and I'm still learning as well. I've also played the corporate game, okay? I was started in my first working for someone else gig was I was a retail shopping assistant at YD, which was a clothing store, and I was fired there after 4 weeks. I worked for my dad as an admin assistant. I've been able to work at an SEO agency, get fired quickly after that as well. I'd been able to work for one of the fastest growing tech companies in 2022 and 2021. I worked my way up there. I was head of sales for a startup in Australia that was rivaling some of the biggest companies like Airbnb in the world. And I was head of sales there for 2 years, head of sales and client success. So I've been in the game, even though I'm young, I've been in the game. And here are 3 quick things that I've learned about character versus skill set. I'm going to start with number 1, and that's going to be a story. So I had a team member, and she was exceptionally intelligent, probably had above 130 IQ, so very, very smart young woman in her 30s. And she was extremely good at SEO deliverables. I'm not going to name the name of this person. And she'd been working with my company for about a year and a half, and she was tough to deal with from the start. She would get results, and then she'd be not always showing up to meetings, and I was like, why? And we'd have these conversations, and she'd make these promises. And it got to a point where one by one, all of the accounts that she was responsible for churned, like one by one, month after month. And it wasn't because of the results. The results were usually there. She usually was actually near the probably higher level of people in our SEO department that were getting results. It was mainly because she was not emotionally invested. She was not attentive to their emotional needs, the client's needs. When she was on these calls with these guys, I would see emails where she would not have completed a task that was done 6 months ago, but she would have completed the thing that made them money, right? Now, she's actually quit, ironically, just before I was about to fire her. It's the way it goes. Now I compare her to someone else. There's this other guy on my team, and this guy, similar age, similar experience. He's got a wife, he's got 2 kids. And, he skill-wise, maybe he's 20% not as good as this other SEO manager, but he's really good at giving the clients updates 3 times a week. Hey, this is what's happened. This is your result. This is where we're at. To the point where some clients don't even respond. There's clients that don't even respond for 6 weeks. But because he was so attentive, he was always giving more and more of his attention to their account. Not just in terms of results, because it takes time to get results with anything that you do. But that level of attentiveness let them feel like they were cared for, compared to the really high IQ person that was great at getting the result, but if I have to put this video on this website, like, this is not going to change things. Like, I'm not going to do it. Or I'll just say I'll do it and I'll forget about it. So number 1 is I'm going to give a point to character, because the person that lets the client feel more cared for is going to win ultimately, and it's going to keep the client for longer. Now, the second reason is this. Skills can be taught for the most part. Character, harder to teach. Here's why. A lot of people's character is a result of a few things. And you can read about this with Robert Greene and other people that talk about, sociology and psychology. But it's from these 3 things. One of them is family values, how you're raised. There are some people that I went to high school with where they probably thought it was okay to be racist. Like, properly racist. Not like racist joking, but like properly racist. And now that I look back, and this sounds ironic, I'm actually like, that's fair enough. That's all they know. That's their value, right? That's like not their value, but it's what they know. So that's one thing, how people are raised. The second thing is experience, life experience. So oftentimes you'll find those people that maybe are in their late teens or early 20s, and they've traveled around the world, they've started a startup, and they've had it, and it failed, and it grew. And so they've maybe had a friend that died at a young age, or they've lost a parent, and they had to grow up a bit more quickly. That life experience, you might see that 25-year-old, and you're like, this person isn't the regular 25-year-old. They've been through a lot. They're a lot more sharp. They're a lot more switched on. They're a lot more attentive. They're more focused to the company's objectives. And that's because of life experience. So another great way to kind of discern is, all right, if someone's character is proven or has a great character skill set, what have they been through? What's the toughest thing that they've had to face and overcome? And the resilience that one develops when they've been through an interesting life, and they have a lot of stories to tell in that regard, oftentimes is harder to find or is less of a commodity compared to someone that's just good at running Facebook ads, someone that's just good at marketing, someone that's just good at communicating. Because that skill, for the most part, especially with AI, there are so many other people that can do skills these days. But it's very, very hard to find someone that is exceptionally skilled at life. And that's what I would say, character also can come into the parts of things. That means there's something that they've had to overcome that's allowed them to develop certain traits that are beneficial to the company. So that's reason number two. Now, the third reason why I would put character over skill set is because of longevity. So here's what I mean by this, and this is a bit more, again, high-level thinking. If I have a team member that has been with me for 2 years, and they are really, really, really skilled at, let's just say sales, I am going to naturally want to help that person propel more, build a relationship with them because they've been loyal to me. But if I get a killer salesperson and they're closing 10K deals, $100,000 deals, 5K deals, PIFs, getting people to pay in front for 3-6 months, but they leave after a month because they have no integrity or they have no loyalty to me. And each person's their own. Like, I get it. Life happens. That's fine. But if someone doesn't feel courageous enough to commit to something for an elongated period of time, then no matter how much money or how much success they bring your company, they're not going to be there long term. I'd rather someone that's maybe a 7 out of skill. I'm not saying pick a person that's a 3. Pick someone that knows what they're doing. But I'd rather pick someone that's a 7 out of 10 on skill, but, a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10 on commitment, loyalty. Because I can build with them over a couple of years, and I can help them go from perhaps a B or B plus player to A plus. And that's the irony. You sometimes also got to just hire A plus players. I'm learning that as well. You can't always build everyone. Otherwise, you're wasting your own time as the CEO. But you can create an environment where they also are like, wow, Dami helped me grow from A to B. Now I'm significantly more skilled and I can make more money. I can start my own business. And that level of loyalty, I found, has resulted in a lot more growth long-term for my companies compared to that really heavy hitter that is a bit of a narcissist and only cares about their own end goal. Anyway, those are 3 quick reasons why. This is a bit more of a high-level video, but this is something that I've learned over the last 5 years, from having event nightclub businesses to having my own marketing agency for nearly 6 years, to having a production company, having people that are long-term thinkers, but also have those other traits. They've got stories. They've had a bit of life experience. And the first thing that I mentioned, those are the things that really, I think, separate skill set from character. Okay. If you guys found this valuable, join the free Skool group. It's a lot more videos like this that I chunk out. And, like this, share it, comment, and hopefully you can share this with someone that, finds this valuable. If you found this valuable, then drop a comment. Let me know what parts you agree or disagree with. And as always, guys, think mega.